In our previous exercise, we brought forth all of our baselines out of the ALG file, and now we want to bring forth all of our plane graphics from our ALG file. And the reason we broke this up into two exercises is so that we can put our plane graphics in a different file than our baselines. That's not necessarily a requirement, but just something to kind of help a little bit with keeping everything organized. So let's go ahead and open up Power Geopak. And we're going to make a new file. Again, it's going to be a 2D file. I'm going to call this Plan Graphics. And we will use this drawing to drive changes in our corridors just like we did in Select Series 2. With this file open, the exercise is pretty much going to be identical, except we don't need to actually create a GPK file this time or worry about our drawing skills because we're staying consistent with what was in our seed file for this exercise. So we're going to go back to import from our ALG file. And this time we want to select everything but our baselines. And so I'm just going to do a bulk selection here and then turn off the baselines. Now, just as in the previous exercise, you would want to go through each of these entries and double check and make sure you're not importing existing profiles. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to go ahead and do that, it just takes the import process a little bit longer to do. So I'm going to go ahead and import these and allow this to process. So we'll do a fit view, and you can see all of our plane graphics came in just fine. I'll do a little house cleaning here. I'm going to turn off the line weights in my view here just to make it a little easier to look at. And I'm also going to attach my other two reference files. So we will attach our existing ground and our geometry. And say OK to that. Also on your geometry, make sure your live nesting depth is set to 1. And now we have all of that in there. And just to be consistent, I'm going to select our terrain model and set that as active. That's always a good practice to do that in all of your working files. Just a little tip on importing to speed up the process. If you bring in just a couple of alignments at a time versus bulk bringing in everything and do it as many times as it takes to bring them in, it's going to import everything very quickly. It's just a matter of how much RAM you have available on your computer. It is a very RAM intense process, and so by breaking it up into multiple imports, it does expedite the process quite a bit. This concludes bringing in the plan graphics that we utilized in Select Series 2 in Roadway Designer, and so now we're going to transition over to actually importing our corridors.